The Power of Silence, a Machiavellian perspective on influence and control. In a world where words are abundant and often wielded carelessly, silence remains one of the most potent tools for influence, control, and strategic dominance. Niccolò Machiavelli, the famed political thinker and strategist, would argue that the mastery of silence is an essential skill for those who seek power and wish to maintain it. Unlike spoken words, which can be used against us, silence preserves ambiguity, projects strength, and allows for the calculated observation of others. It is not passive, but rather an active tool in the hands of those who understand its power. Machiavelli's political treatises, particularly The Prince and Discourses on Livy, emphasize the importance of cunning, adaptability, and control over one's image. A ruler, according to Machiavelli, must be both a fox, cunning and strategic, and a lion, strong and feared. Silence enhances both of these traits, preserving power through mystery. Machiavelli suggests that rulers should never reveal their full intentions. Silence prevents adversaries from predicting one's next move, keeping them uncertain and off balance. In The Prince, Machiavelli advises that leaders should be cautious with their words, revealing only what serves their interests. He warns that excessive honesty can be a weakness and that a leader must always keep others guessing. Example: Napoleon Bonaparte often remained silent in negotiations, forcing others to reveal their positions first. This gave him a strategic advantage in diplomatic and military decision-making, using silence as a defensive strategy. Words once spoken cannot be taken back and can be manipulated by enemies. Silence, on the other hand, denies others the opportunity to twist or misinterpret statements. Machiavelli discusses how Roman leaders often use silence in political maneuvering. By refusing to engage in unnecessary discussions, they avoided making commitments that could later be used against them. Example: the Mafia's omertà, code of silence, ensured that leaders were protected from incriminating themselves or others, preserving power and avoiding legal repercussions. Creating an aura of authority and fear. Silence can project strength and control, forcing others to fill the void with their own assumptions or anxieties. Machiavelli writes about Cesare Borgia, who used silence strategically to build an image of unpredictability and ruthlessness. His ability to remain unreadable made him a formidable force in Italian politics. Example: Vladimir Putin, known for his long pauses in speeches and cold, calculated silence in diplomatic settings, has used this tactic to appear dominant and unpredictable. Historical examples of silence as a strategic tool. Throughout history, some of the most powerful figures have wielded silence as a primary means of asserting dominance and control. Julius Caesar was known for his deliberate silence when gathering intelligence. He would listen, observe, and only speak when it served his strategic goals. Queen Elizabeth. Elizabeth often remained silent on matters of succession and marriage, keeping her court guessing and maintaining absolute control over England's political future. Abraham Lincoln used silence to his advantage in political debates and discussions. His ability to remain quiet while others spoke allowed him to craft the most calculated and impactful responses. Steve Jobs. In business, Jobs mastered the strategic pause. Whether in negotiations or product launches, he used silence to create suspense and control the narrative. Implementing silence in today's society. In a digital age dominated by oversharing, the art of silence is even more powerful. Here's how individuals can implement it. In business and negotiations, the most skilled negotiators understand the power of silence. When faced with an offer, remaining silent forces the other party to second-guess themselves and potentially make concessions. Example: in high-stakes business deals, executives who remain silent after a proposal often receive better counteroffers because the other party feels compelled to fill the silence. In leadership and management, leaders who speak less and listen more command respect. Employees and subordinates interpret their silence as confidence rather than indecision. Example: Elon Musk, despite his controversial online presence, is known for his silent, focused demeanor in strategic meetings, allowing others to reveal their thoughts first. In personal relationships, silence can be a powerful tool in personal dynamics, whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or family interactions. Example: when someone insults or provokes, responding with silence rather than defensiveness often leaves them powerless and frustrated. In social media and public image, in an era of cancel culture, those who respond impulsively to criticism often worsen their situation. Silence, or a well-timed delayed response, can prevent unnecessary damage. Example: celebrities and politicians who refrain from responding to every controversy tend to maintain stronger public images compared to those who engage in every debate. Extended analysis: the psychological impact of silence. Machiavelli understood that silence does not merely affect external perception, but also has deep psychological effects on both the user and those subjected to it. The anxiety of the unknown. When a powerful individual remains silent, others begin to speculate, overthink, and sometimes make errors out of fear and uncertainty, forcing opponents to reveal their hand. In chess, a grandmaster may remain silent and unmoving, waiting for an opponent to make a mistake. Silence is often a similar strategic move in politics and business. The strength of listening. Machiavelli emphasizes that a wise ruler listens more than he speaks. Knowledge is power, and those who speak less absorb more information. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that rulers should never reveal their true thoughts unless necessary. Words once spoken cannot be taken back, but silence leaves others guessing. This principle is crucial in leadership, as it creates an aura of mystery and authority. People respect what they do not fully understand. When a man speaks less, others assume he knows more. Example: in corporate settings, CEOs like Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos often speak sparingly in public, allowing their mystique to enhance their perceived wisdom and control. Forces others to reveal themselves. When a man remains silent, his opponents or rivals are forced to talk, often revealing their own weaknesses and intentions. Example: during the Cold War, the Soviet Union and the United States played a game of strategic silence. The most effective intelligence operatives, like those in the KGB or CIA, understood that saying nothing was often more informative than speaking. Protects against manipulation and misinterpretation. The more one speaks, the more ammunition one provides for adversaries. Example: political figures who remain vague on controversial issues often maintain longevity in their careers compared to those who speak impulsively and are later attacked for their words. Builds fear and respect. Machiavelli famously argued that it is better to be feared than loved. Silence can create discomfort in others, making them uncertain of where they stand with you, thereby increasing their respect. Example: mafia bosses, like Vito Corleone in The Godfather, rarely spoke unnecessarily. Their quiet demeanor alone commanded authority and kept others in a state of respect and fear. The psychological effects of silence on others. Silence is not just about the absence of words. It has profound psychological effects. Creates uncertainty. When a man remains silent, others begin to speculate about his thoughts, often giving him more credit than he deserves. Amplifies authority. Those who speak less often have their words carry more weight when they do decide to talk. Forces others to prove themselves. A man who does not seek approval through excessive talking makes others work harder for his validation. Machiavelli understood that power is about perception, and silence is one of the greatest tools in shaping how others perceive a man. In an age where impulsive reactions and social media oversharing are the norm, the man who masters silence will always hold the upper hand. By using silence strategically, men can command respect, gain leverage in negotiations, become more attractive, and lead with authority. Whether in business, relationships, politics, or everyday interactions, the ability to speak less and observe more is a true mark of wisdom and strength. As Machiavelli would advise, speak only when it serves your purpose. Let others reveal their weaknesses, and always remember, silence is the language of kings. By understanding the lessons from history and applying them to modern scenarios, one can harness the power of silence to navigate life strategically, maintain control, and emerge victorious in the grand scheme of influence and dominance. Remain vigilant and remember, we are in Deceptor.